I'm about to show you how I animate these 3-minute cartoons in just a few hours. I only use an iPad, but the apps I use are Procreate, Procreate Dreams, and ChatGPT. First, I go to Procreate, and I've already drawn out my background. So what I like to do is, when I draw out my backgrounds, I like to layer each item in the room in its own layer so that I can move it around when I go to Procreate Dreams. I hit gallery to go back and I save my image as PNG. I hit the home button and I go to ChatGPT. And I want ChatGPT to basically polish the image that I've already drawn because I know I have errors in it. And I don't have time to go ahead and edit it. ChatGPT already knows the style of Roach Chronicles because I've trained it to edit my mistakes. So what I do is I tell it this is the background image for Roach Chronicles and I want you to polish it. And that's exactly what it does. So I check the picture out, and then if I like it, of course I save it, and then I click the home button. I then go to Procreate Dreams where I will animate it. I click on the plus to do a new project, then I click on widescreen. I click on that plus to add a photo, and I want to add the background of the cartoon. I make sure it covers the whole timeline and that it is covering the whole screen. So I go back out and I go to Procreate. And this time I want to get a character. And I guess we're going to go with Roach Kishiana. Now, when I drew Roach Kishiana, I made sure I separately layered every single thing. Her eyeballs, the little pupil in her eye, everything. Even her arms, especially her arms, because that's how she's going to move them. I don't draw the top of the arm and the bottom of the arm on the same layer because I want her to move in a certain way. So I drag her character to Procreate Dreams. I make sure I don't save it as PNG because if you save it as PNG, then you're not going to be able to move nothing. So it automatically transported. I bring it to the top of the line and I hold it down and then I click full duration so it can fit the whole timeline. Make sure you put full duration before you move forward. Anyways, I position her and then I hold it down and I click convert layers to track. That way, everything that I layered is now in this group and I can, like I did in Procreate, I have every single thing, the lips separate, everything. I can move it. But I want to group the head together. So I click on this little red thing. You see it's going to light up. Okay, right there. I click that and then I highlight every single thing. All I'm doing is just touching it. Well, yeah. I just want to make sure that was part of the head. But anyways, I touch everything that I want in a group. And I hold it down and I click group so that the head can move together. Now, the reason her hair doesn't move with her head is because the hair is like behind the body. So the body is in between their head and hair. I still ain't figured it out on how to do that when they have long hair, but hey, we learning. So let's move the arms because I want it to look like she's walking. Remember, I said to separate the upper part of the arm and the lower part of the arm, right? So what I'm doing is I'm looking for the arm in the front, not the one in the back. And you want to click this little button that's finna light up. That means action. So when you got action on, if you move anything, it's going to move in the cartoon when you press it. It's like rendering, I think. I don't know much about this stuff. Like I said, I'm still a beginner myself. I got to make sure this arm, the bottom part of the arm is anchored. And that basically means like where the position, wherever I put the plus sign, it's going to move from there. I don't need it moving all over the screen. I need to move from that plus sign. So I click the little 3 dots and then I click edit anchor and I put it right there, right where I want it to move from. And then I click on one of them red dots. And when you see that little line, that little curvy line, that means you're moving it around the anchor. But if you click on just the red dot and pull it out without the little swooshy line, the little curvy line, then what you will be doing is making it bigger and smaller. I personally don't like to anchor the top part of the arm because this is what happens. I anchor it and then it moves like this. So what I like to do is I like to group the top and the bottom together and then move them as one. And I also move the bottom arm, if that makes sense, because I think I'm confusing myself. So what I'm doing right now is I'm grouping the arm together. This is what happens when I don't anchor the arm after I, want to move it. See, the anchor is somewhere, I don't know where the freak the anchor is. But baby, we're finna get that anchor on point. It's all the way on my chin. So we're going to put it on the shoulder where we want to anchor it. And then we're going to click that red thing. And then we're going to move it like that. The swoosh. Remember that swoosh got to be there. Okay, this button is going up. That means we got action. So whatever I'm moving it's gonna be like that whenever I press play. I like to edit the group first, and then I like to go inside of the group and edit the bottom part of the arm. Now keep in mind, you see all them little red little dot lines thingies on the timeline? That's like the motions of me moving. You can click on one and edit it. Now I'm bending my arm back. I'm showing you, I shouldn't go back. I should just go up and forth with the bottom arm because it don't look natural. All I got to do to edit it is go back on the timeline and start it back over. Start the action thing back over. The reason why the whole arm is moving instead of just the bottom is because, remember before, I already moved the group. Like, I did the whole group, which is the whole arm. I got it moving. So right now what I'm doing is I'm going back inside of the group and I'm moving that bottom arm back and forth. So it just won't be one straight line just moving. So now I want her to blink. Let's work on the eyes. Okay, she already got eyelids. I'm going to just take them off right quick. The button that's going to light up is the drawing. That's how you draw on Procreate Dreams. So this is what I basically draw for the eyelids. I hold down the eyelid and I click mask and then clip mask. And that means it's only going to mask it over the image that's below it. And the image that's below it is the pupils. Of course, I can't do that. If I move it around, try to blink, this is what it's going to look like. It's clipped to the pupils. So what I do is I also clip mask the pupils to the eyeballs. And then now I can go all the way to the front and I can just move it using action. And now I'm blinking. Look at the arm still going. Then I move to the pupil, which is basically the easiest part. So I go to the beginning of the timeline and I click action and I just move the pupils around. And you should have the sound. So the sound should tell you when, to move your pupils, when to move everything. For the mouth, I'm going to add a track and I want her to talk. So this is what I do. I like to draw a black circle, and this is for her mouth to talk. I'm not finna go frame by frame and doing the mouth. No, we're not finna do that. This is like a couple of hours that I'm be editing. I hold it down, click full duration so it can go down the timeline, and then I cut it, I split it, and I delete the part that I don't want. Then I split the mouth, and then I spread it out from the beginning to the end of where she's speaking. I unclick draw and then I anchor it. And the way I want to anchor it is from the top because I want her mouth to move like a regular mouth. So I anchor it to the top of the mouth. I test it out before I click action and I'm listening to the audio. If I'm satisfied, I go ahead and click action, go back on the timeline where the mouth starts. And you see, if you keep going, it messes up and it goes over the mouth. So what you do is you just slide the talking part, or shoot, you can just slide a closed mouth if she's talking longer than what you thought. So now I'm zooming out and I'm playing it. I'm not moving anything. And now I'm looking for the other arm. I'm not going to do that on here because I already showed y'all how to edit an arm. Okay, now I've edited both of my arms and I'm just going back to the beginning and I'm playing it and just looking at it. I know I have action on. I don't really have to have action on for this. But I'm just playing it. I got everything moving, so now it's time for her to walk. So I zoom out, I click on her, and I click action, and I just move her like I want her to be. But I want her to turn around and move back into frame. I don't want her to turn around backwards. So what I do is I'm going to go back on the timeline where I want her to move. And then I'm going to click the three dots and click flip horizontal. And then I'm going to, it all flip because I didn't split it. So I have to split it and then do the horizontal part to the part that I want split. I want to go back. Doggone. I want to go back. So I click the three dots. Shoot, I keep clicking this thing. I click the three dots and I click flip horizontal. And now I cut on my action. And I move her back into frame. And now she is... yeah, she's completed. She talking, she walking, she alive. And this is what it looks like. Of course, you add the audio before this.